Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm going to change the subject a little bit and talk about survival. Now, you may think I'm crazy, and you'd probably be right, I am crazy. You have to be crazy to make a living making stoves out of soda cans, but that's neither here nor there. What people don't realize is the supply chain that keeps our daily lives floating along just hunky-dory is extremely delicate, and when things happen, that supply chain breaks down, like a really bad storm, or some kind of a natural disaster, or a disruption in the road service, or a lack of fuel. There's a lot of different things. Even a lack of electricity can suddenly and abruptly stop the flow of your life. It wouldn't take much at all to disrupt the supply to your local grocery store or the supply of gas at your local gas station. And you'll find that if that happens, that people will rush to the grocery store and the gas station and hoard. And if you don't hurry, when you get there, there won't be anything. Now, if you don't have a supply of gasoline, if you want to drive around, or a supply of food, you could get real hungry real quick. I know people don't believe that, but you know, other than the National Guard driving down the road and handing out MREs, you could get real hungry real fast if a natural disaster happened, or if there was some kind of a plague or a pandemic. So what I do is I keep about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month's worth of food on hand all the time, and I'm moving it from one room to another room. It's going to go in this room up overhead, and I'm categorizing it a little bit better and going through the dates. Now, people think I'm some kind of a nutcase for doing that, and they're probably right, but it's really not a bad idea. It doesn't cost that much, and if you have a natural disaster or a pandemic, or the road service for some reason gets damaged and they can't get to my local area by a flood or whatever, earthquake, whatever, this could come in real handy. I'm not that crazy about going hungry. So let me walk around here and get a little closer to the camera and set things up, and I'll explain a little bit more about what I'm talking about. Now, this doesn't take up that much room, and you can see it's just one shelf back there, but there's enough that'll last a long time, especially if you combine things and take other things that you have and local stuff that you can get your hands on. My point is that life's a lot like driving down the road in an automobile. Anybody that drives knows the feeling of pushing down on the accelerator pedal and having the acceleration push you back in the seat, climb up over hills and pick up speed. It's right there at your foot all the time. I mean, it's great. Have you ever been driving along and push down the gas pedal and all of a sudden the engine stops? You push the pedal and nothing happens, and that push in the seat goes away, you start slowing down? Usually you don't expect it, and it's a really bad feeling depending on how far you are from a gas station or civilization. If it happens out in the middle of the sticks, it can be pretty dramatic, especially on a cold day. Well, in my opinion, that's the way life is. Everything goes along. You walk into the shopping center and you grab your cart, load it up with all kinds of really nice groceries, and you go home, turn the lights on and cook it. You've got plenty of gas for your car. You pull up the gas station, pull your car in, tank it up. Life is good. But at some point in time, you may walk in the grocery store and there may not be anything there. Or you may go to the gas station and it may be closed. And that's just like driving along in the car and having it run out of gas. It's sudden, unexpected, and it can be very dramatic. So I recommend that everybody keeps some stock ahead. And I'm not just talking a couple of cans of soup. I'm talking, enough stuff to keep you alive for a month, because you can always rotate it out. It's not that big a hardship. And it really could make a life a lot easier later on. There's only one other thing I want to say today. On my last video, I was talking about bushcrafters, and of course, 99% of the people got the message, but there's still that 1% that took it personal. So I think I can sum this whole thing up and clear this up by saying, when I said when I said there's no place on the Appalachian Trail for bushcrafters, I didn't mean the people that are bushcrafters. I meant that style of backpacking or that style of hiking, bushcrafting, not the people. I had a lot of people email me and say that they were backpackers and they had just as much right to be on the trail as me, and they're correct. What I'm saying is they have just as much right as me, but not to practice bushcrafting on the Appalachian Trail. You can't do it. There just isn't enough resources, and you'll just, as I said again, you'll just be raping the countryside if you do that, cutting down trees and burning stuff, and it's supposed to be leave no trace, and you can't do that bushcrafting. There aren't enough resources. There isn't any dry wood next to the shelter. You say, well, I'm going to build a fire. If you go to an AT shelter that gets between 3 and 20 people a day in the summertime and start walking around and looking for firewood, you'll be shocked because they keep it cleaned right up. They break the limbs off the trees and go back into the woods for hundreds of yards to get firewood to build fires. When there's a group, they always like to have a good fire. Consequently, they've deleted all the dry fall down stuff. There isn't anything left other than taking an axe and staving something up or whittling a corner off the shelter or tearing some boards off the floor. There's really nothing dry there to cook, to build a fire with and cook with. Last time I was in an AT shelter, there was a group there that had to build a fire. There was like 17 kids, and they were cooking with wood. And we had to go back into the woods long ways to find anything, and we never did find any really good dry wood to build a fire with. We got by, but I was amazed how far I had to travel, hundreds of yards back into the woods, down over banks, and back in to find any decent wood. So I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, cook some really great meals on your backpacking stove, and more important than anything, click on them videos and have a great day. Bye-bye.